Welcome to another video. Today we are doing our full Pilates class, anything 50-55 minutes, and we're going to be using our Pilates balls today. So I use a brand called Mirrorfit. I'm not associated with them, I just like them. And they're about £7 to £8 off the internet. If you don't have one though, do not worry. You can follow the whole sequence without the Pilates ball, or you could use a rolled up towel or a cushion, just something that you could put between your knees and then possibly at your lower back later on in the session. But for now we're just going to bring that to one side and we're going to start at the back of our mat, feet in the parallel position, same width as the cheekbones. So I really want you to think of hip bone, then we're going down the thigh bone, down the shin, first and second toe, and I really want you to get situated nice and heavy on the mat. And what I mean by that is don't be so far in your heels that you could lift your toes, and don't be so far forward that you feel like you could go onto the ball of the foot. We want the weight about mid-foot and you feel nice and stable. And just let your arms drop nice and heavy down to your sides, and we're just going to start with a bit of breathing to start. So what I want you to do is have your hands on the bottom rib, thumb at your back, first finger around the front at the very bottom rib. And I want you to close your eyes, just engage your tummy muscles. Feel free to have eyes open if you want. And what we're going to do, keep tummy muscles engaged. Inhale, feel how the ribs open up to the sides and the back. And then exhale, feel how the rib cage closes. Inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. So just keep that breath going for me. We're just trying to feel those ribs expand, get our Pilates breath working. On this next exhale, flutter the eyes open, let the arms drop down. Inhale, exhale, start your roll down. Chin down, pelvis under. Gently rolling down, maybe have a generous bend in those knees to begin. Give those hips and that back a bit of love. Inhale, exhale, roll all the way back up. Restacking. Inhale, exhale, roll down, chin down, pelvis under. And then we're going to inhale, exhale, slowly roll all the way back up. We're going to do one more. Inhale, exhale, we're going to roll down. Holding at the bottom, just bend the knees, walk the hands out, come onto all fours for me. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. From here we're going to do our cat-cow. So we're going to exhale round the back so the shirt pushes up to the ceiling, head and bottom tuck under. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. And again, exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Shoulders staying in shoulder sockets. Exhale, round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lifts. And then just coming into your flat back for me. From here we're going to slide right leg back, left arm forward. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, tap down and replace. Keep that going other side. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Aim here not to let that pelvis rotate. So it's not about the height of the leg. It's about that stability. Just warming everything up. Do one more on each side. from there, just push the bottom down towards the heels, lengthening the arms out, actively pushing through the heel of the hand. And this is just going to get activation through the back and the arms. And then come back into your all fours position. What we're going to do now is get your cushion, whatever it is, ball, and just put it between the knees for me, between those thighs. And we're coming back onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees are now going to be underneath the hips. Might be a little bit closer to if you've got a cushion. If we can, we're going to turn the toes underneath at the back, and we're going to lift into our plank one. If this isn't an option for you, feel free to come into your modified plank. You can still do the movements from there. We're going to exhale, lift the knees up. Inhale, tap them back down. Or hold the modified plank. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we tap. So we just keep that going. And if and when you want to, as you exhale, you lift, you give the ball a squeeze, and then back down. The aim is to keep the back in its neutral position. We're just testing our tummy strength. And if we can, we hold at the top on this next one and give some little squeezes of the ball. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Take the ball out or cushion, come into that rest position again. Big breath in and out. Should be feeling a little bit warmer. Restack that spine, bring the ball with you, just place it to one side so it's somewhere that you can grab hold of. And then we're going to come and sit on the bottom, legs out in front. Okie dokie, if you need a bend in that knee, please take it. Arms are going to be up, little bend, and we're going to do our spine stretch. Exhale forward. Inhale, restack back up. Exhale, we come forward. Inhale, we restack. And again. And restack. Last one. And restack. Perfect. Grab ball, cushion, whatever you've got. We're going to have it between our hands, okay? And then if you need to, we can open the legs a little bit wider if you feel more stable with a wider leg, or a little bit harder, we actually keep the legs where they were, bending the knee if needed, back straight. Elbows are in line with wrists, and if we can, having the elbows just under shoulder height, and you can have palms flat or you can kind of hold it like this. From here we're going to inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, back to middle. Inhale, left. Exhale, middle. So I'm trying to feel my rhomboids, muscles in between my shoulder blades, firing a little bit to keep those shoulders in place. My pelvis is staying steady. One way to tell if your pelvis is moving is if your legs are moving up and down the mat. On this next one, inhale to the right. Keep hold of the ball in the left hand as you tap down with the right, back up, exhale middle, inhale left, hand taps, back to middle. Last one. We're going to dive up and over that big pretend beach ball, just coming into a little bit of a spine stretch, giving that back a little bit of love. And then rolling all the way up that spine. Perfect. We're going to come and lie down on the back for a moment. And then if you want to, the option is to put that ball, whatever it is, between your knees just for a little bit of feedback. We're going to check that we're in our neutral spine, so we've got our slight gap underneath the bottom of the back, and then we're just going to spend a little bit of time releasing that pelvis. So we're going to take a big breath in, push the back onto the mat, so imagine your belly button is 6 o'clock, push it down, pubic bone lifts up slightly. Inhale, imagine the pubic bone is 12 o'clock, and then we're going to tip the pelvis to 12. Or tuck the bottom away, 6 o'clock, and then push the bottom out, 12 o'clock. I don't mind how you think about it as long as you can do it. And then we're going to come halfway between the two, small gap underneath the bottom of that back, and that is your neutral pelvis, neutral spine, tailbone heavy, pubic bone in line with the bony parts of the hip. We're just going to gently rock the knees side to side. Maybe your back will give a lovely crack as it's released some of its tension as we've let that pelvis move. Come back to the middle, and we're going to start our long pelvic curl, our bridges, but we're going to do it in increments, and I find this such a gorgeous stretch. So we're going to inhale, exhale, push down to 6. Inhale, come back to neutral. On this next one, we exhale down to 6, but now we lift that bum up just a little bit, a couple of inches. Inhale, bum down, back to neutral. On this next one, we exhale down to 6, that bum lifts that tiny bit higher, as if you're trying to get the bony bits of the hip to touch the ribs. Inhale down, back to neutral. So if you can see, we're slowly, incrementally, each time getting that little bit higher, feeling those tummy muscles. Because it's that lovely engagement of the tummy, that little curl, that we want. And I find this exercise is not only a great stretch, but it's a great way to get people to understand that the tummy is doing a lot of work here. So we keep going. I'm about into my mid-back now, just below my shoulder blades. Keep going. I'm going to be up to my shoulder blades now. And just pushing that a little bit higher. And on this next one, going as high as you can comfortably. We're in a lovely long line, but just make sure as you're at the top that you haven't kind of let the tummy go. We're still trying to pull or push up using the pelvis to get it that little bit higher. I'm trying to get that bony bit a little bit closer to my ribs, and you should really feel your tushy engage. Hold it there, really feel that curl. Then just let your right bum cheek release a second. Notice how that pelvis tilts down to the right. Slowly roll down the back. So I'm now leaning on the right side of my back only, pretty much. I'm rolling down. My bum hits the floor, and then I roll all the way back up. Most of the work is in that left leg. I centre my pelvis. I now let my left bum cheek relax. So you can see my pelvis is cocked to the side, and I'm gently rolling down the left side of my spine. Bum comes down, and then I slowly roll all the way back up. This is like the cardinal sin of Pilates here, but it is a good stretch. Same on the right again, right bum cheek relaxes and drops. I roll down. Bottom hits the mat and I roll back up. And then back to the left. Drop it down, roll, and all the way back up. Centering there, and I'm going to come down the centre of that spine again, top, middle, bottom, back into neutral, and then just give those knees a little bit of a shuffle side to side. Perfect. Okay, we're going to take that ball cushion, whatever it is, out, and we're going to have a little bit of a play here in our bridge. So what I'd like everyone to do is to gently roll all the way up into their bridge. We're making sure that we've got the glutes engaged, so I've got that tiny little tuck. So So if you watch and I'm just relaxed, my bum drops down a bit. If I really give that little tuck under, I've got my glutes engaged. So option 1 is you ignore the ball and you just lift and lower your right heel. Option 2, you could try and lift the hands up holding ball, cushion, whatever it is. Option 3, we try and lift the leg into tabletop and just tap the ball to the knee and then reach the arms away or just back up to the ceiling. Okay, this is where most people will be, I think, alternatively just lifting and lowering the heel. Glutton for punishment, we lengthen that leg and we tap, take it away. Tap, take it away. Now I'm only showing these as variations so that people have somewhere to go, because we do this quite a lot, the lift and lower of the heel, tabletop or lengthened, and let's just bring the arms in. Now we either keep the heel up, leg in tabletop or leg lengthened. Let's do some little pulses up, squeeze the bum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. We're going to the other side. So either lifting the left heel, maybe tapping tabletop, or legs lengthened. And we're giving it a good old tap to the leg. But remember, you can choose whatever option you like. If you want hands on the floor with a lift and lower of the leg, be my guest. These variations are just to cater for everybody's needs. Heel lifted, tabletop lengthen, little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the foot. Roll down that spine, let the ball cushion go. Hug the knees in. Rock that back side to side. Perfect. Okie dokie, we're going to have some more fun. So what we're going to do is take the ball, cushion, whatever it is, and put it behind the back of your right leg. So that leg is pretty much now in tabletop. I know my toes pointing down slightly, but that's just because I'm holding onto this ball. My knee's in line with the hip. We're going to push the arms into the mat and lift the other leg into tabletop. Tailbone is heavy. I haven't curled my pelvis up towards me, but my back is down. So we're going to lengthen the left leg away. Inhale. As we exhale and bring it back, the right toe taps down. So it's inhale, exhale. Now if it's too much to tap the toe down, feel free just to let that left leg move in and out. That's fine. You do what you need to do. Just give me 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down. We're going to do the other side. So the ball changes onto the left leg now. Right leg joins in tabletop. We inhale, push the right leg to 45. And then as we exhale, left leg taps down. So it's inhale, exhale. Now again, that leg could be higher than 45. It's whatever works for your back. Use that breath to help. Give me 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take that ball out. Just keep the feet together. Just let the knees drop out slightly. A little bit of an inner thigh stretch. Perfect. Releasing, just giving that back a little bit of a wiggle. Perfect. Okie dokie, from here we're going to take ball, towel, whatever it is, putting it under the back of the pelvis. So the ball will generally be harder because it will wiggle around a bit more, and you know you've got it in the right position if you can kind of touch it underneath the bottom of the back. Now it's not on the arch of my back, it's lower than that, but it's not so low that you feel like it's going to come flying out. And if you're using a cushion, just bottom part of the pelvis. Okay, we're going to see if we can tabletop one leg, tabletop the other. This in itself can be quite challenging, so if you need to stay here, please do. Okie dokie, so option one, we're just holding. Option two, we're going to inhale, lengthen one leg to the ceiling, exhale, bring it down. And then the other side, inhale, exhale. Really testing that balance. Option here to lift the opposite arm up at the same time as the leg lifting. Tailbone is still heavy, I haven't curled it towards me, so I'm anchored. Releasing there, just holding at the top. Hold, hold, hold. If you need to put the legs down, feel free. If we can, either continuing with that, or we inhale, flex the left leg, or left foot, sorry, and push the leg out. Exhale in. So it's inhale and exhale, switching sides. Now, if this isn't enough for you, maybe, she says, I might fall off the ball here, you could look about lifting both arms up. And then you could look at taking opposite arm behind. Now, if I fall off, please don't laugh. It's been a while since I've done a full class on the ball. Last one. And release the feet down. Oofty, that was harder than I remember it being. Just take some nice big deep breaths in and out. If you're on the ball, this should feel quite nice, just being slightly elevated. It kind of releases the pelvis a little bit. Just nice big deep breaths. We've got one more exercise here, and that exercise is going to be taking the ball out for me. And you're going to put it between your ankles if you can. So it's either ankles or the arch of the foot, I don't really mind. And we're going to do our double leg stretch. So legs are in tabletop, got tailbone heavy, neutral pelvis, tummy muscles are working. We hug the legs in. Option one, we just lengthen them up. Option two, legs come to 45. Option three, we lift head and shoulders. But we're going to inhale out, exhale in. Now, because I've got a neutral pelvis, I can't hug my legs in too far. If I really begin to hug them in, I'm lifting my pubic bone up. You'll find your tummy muscles work 10 times harder here. Just give me 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Take the ball out, just put it to one side. Take a stretch out, whatever you want to do. I sometimes like to take a sit up and just move that spine side to side a little bit. Getting a little bit of movement into that back. Okie dokie. We're going to come into our side leg series now. And we won't use the ball today because I know not everyone's got one. But I am going to be doing it on my forearm. If you want to use your arm as a pillow, feel free. But if you can have the palm facing up, it makes it a little bit harder. If you're using forearm like me, then we're going to make sure that the elbow is in line with the shoulder, as in this way. It's not directly underneath. What I don't want to see is that elbow way too far back or way too far forward. It's got to be in line. But the crease of the elbow is slightly out from the crease of the underarm. Okie dokie. We're going to have today bottom leg to the front corner of the mat if we can, top leg nice and long. We're not slouching, we're not watching Netflix, we're lifted. Pelvis level, and we're just inhale and exhale, lift and lower that top leg. We won't do too many today. Perfect. Hold at that top little circle. Circle the other way. It's not about height, it's all about that control. Hold there, flex the foot. Make sure it's in line with the top hip. We're going to exhale twice and bring the leg forward. Point, inhale, take it to the back corner of the mat. Inhale back. Inhale back. Rib cage isn't flaring. Last one. Leg goes to the back corner of the mat. Flex the foot. Little lift. Little lift. Top leg on bottom leg, feet and knees together, just bend the knees so they're at the front of the mat, feet near the bottom, and we're just going to do our little clam, opening and closing. Again, being really strong through this upper body. It's very easy to want to collapse down. And release for me, perfect. Coming on to that other side, maybe giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So again, option to use arm as a pillow, or we're making sure the elbow's in line with the shoulder, and then we've got the elbow a little bit further out than the crease of the underarm. Bottom leg, front corner of the mat, top leg nice and long, and we're going to lift and lower again. Remember, we're not watching TV, so we haven't sunk into that shoulder. Pelvis in line. Hold at the top little circle. Circle the other way. Leg in line with pelvis. Flex the foot. Exhale forward twice. Inhale back corner. Inhale back corner. We should be really feeling the glute here. And the side of the leg. 2 more. Last one. Hold the back corner, flex the foot, a little lift and lower here. Top leg on bottom leg, feet and knees together, knees at the front corner of the mat, feet near the bottom, open and close into that clam. And release, perfect. Just come round onto your tummy for me. We're going to do some of our back exercises now. So we're actually today going to have our hands in line with the head, alternatively underneath the shoulders. Depends how much room you've got in your shoulder girdle really. But I don't want it to be all hunched up. We're going to have forehead down, elbows tucking into the side slightly. I really want you to think of pubic bone being heavy on the mat. So now we're going opposite to what would be if we were lying on our back. So what I mean by that is don't let the bottom stick in the air. We're just giving that tummy muscles a little bit of a pull in as if you're bringing the bony part of your hip to your bottom rib, just slightly, pubic bone pushing down. From here, we're going to inhale, lift head and chest up, exhale, lower. We're trying to lift those tummy muscles off the mat ever so slightly, engaging those tummy muscles. Remember, we're trying to strengthen our postural muscles here, but what works alongside the posture is that tummy. So it's like I've put an uncomfortable pebble underneath your belly button and you're trying to pull your tummy muscles away from it. Give me 2 more. Last one. Releasing down, just give that back a little bit of a wiggle. And now we're just going to look at the legs in the equation. So again, we're putting the pubic bone into the mat slightly, tummy muscles lifted up, but the head's going to stay down. This time we're just lifting and lowering one leg at a time. Inhale up, exhale down. And as you lift that leg, you should feel that pubic bone being heavy. I am as guilty as everybody for letting that pelvis kick back because I want to lift my leg nice and high. It's not about the height. This is about engagement of the correct muscles. So make sure you can feel your hamstrings, glutes, tummy muscles. And whenever you're ready, you're going to introduce the upper half of the body every time you lift a leg. If this isn't available to you today, you're just going to do one or the other. Right leg, left leg, and then lift the chest. Head is staying in line. We're not craning the neck up. I'm still looking down at my mat. And release. Give that back a little bit of a wiggle side to side. We're going to bring the hands in front now, using the arms as a bit of a pillow. And we're going to look at some of our little leg kicks in, and then we'll stretch the quads out in that position as well. So forehead down, pubic bone heavy. Big breath in and out. Just getting that spine into alignment, making sure tummy muscles are working. The next time you exhale, we're going to kick the right leg in twice with a flexed foot. Inhale, extend, notice how my thigh's off the mat, and then we lower. Other leg. Inhale, extend, and lower. So just keep this going, that little extension. We're lifting the thigh off the mat. I'm keeping the rest of the body quiet. I'm not letting myself rock up and down the mat to the best of my ability. One more on each side. We're now going to try both legs at the same time. Exhale, exhale, inhale, extend, pubic bone heavy. Exhale, exhale, inhale, extend. So we're really trying to lift those thighs off the mat on that inhale and extension, really getting into our bum muscles a little bit more. On this next one, kick the legs in, but bring the heels together, flex the feet, open the knees a little bit wider on the mat, and bring those feet into the bottom a little bit more. I'm not asking for a big lift, I still want that pubic bone heavy. Just see if you could lift the thighs up slightly and lower. Lift them up a little bit and lower. If, like me, you're quite flexible in the back, there is a possibility that you're really lifting quite high, but that's totally into the back, not keeping that pelvis in neutral. So just a small one, please, if we can. possible, keep the heels and the legs lifted. Okay, so thighs aren't on the floor. See if you can extend those legs forward. Keep them lifted, keep them lifted. And then just swim the leg, little kicks, up and down, straight leg. Inhale and exhale. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Give that back a bit of a wiggle. You should be feeling your bum muscles there for sure. From here, keeping the left forearm in front, we're going to take, if we can, the right hand behind and see if we can grab the right foot or the right ankle. Now, this may not be possible for some people. If not, just come into your rest position. Flex the foot and just see if you could lift that leg up slightly, that knee lifts off the mat, and you should get this great little stretch down the quad. If, like I said, not possible, hurting any part of the body, then we just push into our rest position to give those legs a stretch out. And release. Let's do the other side. Or stay in that rest position. And release. Perfect. Just coming to sit up. We're going to do a little bit of our mermaid now, so I'm going to come and face you. A couple of options how we're going to do this, okay? Never done it before, not got a great hip rotation. What you're going to do is have both legs cocked to the left-hand side of the mat. So you're really leaning on your right hip. And this is a perfectly good variation to this exercise. There's no problem with it being like this because not everybody has the rotation for a full mermaid. And if this is the option you've taken, that hand is always going to be on the mat. We're not lifting it up. If you want to, this right leg can come forward parallel to the front of the mat and that left leg stays behind, and I'm now sat on my bottom. Okay, but like I said, this is quite hard on the hips, so only take this variation if you feel that you can do it comfortably. So if you haven't got a ball, you're just going to be using your hands. So I shall show you what that'll be. Your hand will either be down or it'll be lifted depending on the leg option. And as we come over, hand comes down, then forearm, and I'm leaning to the front right corner of the mat. I'm not directly overhead, I've got a slight rotation. Okay? Option number 2, and you have got a ball. You could use the ball if you want. So the hand is extended slightly, and then we roll, and then lean. The arm comes back over and we have to push down to roll back up, or you're just pushing through the hand, totally up to you. And again, over we go, exhale over. Inhale up and replace. Beautiful. And again, exhale. And inhale. Exhale, come down, but keep the arm up to the ceiling, and we're going to round underneath that gap of the right arm, right hip, and then come back up and look at the ceiling, and again we round. And we come up, and then just restack that spine, other side. So legs could just be to the right. We could be an off-full mermaid, I really don't mind. The hip rotation does get there eventually for most people, but it's whatever's comfortable. So again, hand could just be down, you could just be using the arm, or you could be using the ball. So we come out and we go over to the front left corner of the mat, getting that lovely stretch down the back QL, and up we come. We'll do 3 of these, or 3 extra, should I say, 3 more. So, and up. Last 2. Lovely stretch, bit of rotation. Last 1. Hold, lift the arm up to the ceiling, take a look up, and then we round underneath, rotate up. round underneath, rotate up, and then gently restack that spine. Oofty, lovely. Get rid of that ball, we're not going to use it again, so that can just go in its little hidey hole for me. Perfect. From there, go and lie on your back for me. We're going to have a little stretch out of that back and those legs, and get our backs feeling a little bit more loved. So lying down for me, extend your right leg onto the mat. Left leg's going to come into our tabletop position, pelvis neutral. So what I want you to do, every time you bring that left leg over to the right, the knee is staying in line with the hip. A lot of people bring the leg first, which is actually a lift up and over of the left bum cheek. So we exhale, lift up and over, little lumbar stretch. And then inhale, come back to centre. And then let that left leg go out to the left ever so slightly without letting the hip on the right move. Now, if most people look down, they'll notice the hips moved. So you need to really push down. Back to middle, up and over. Back to middle, out to the left. And it's quite an odd sensation having to push the right bum cheek down, as you go over to the left. But it is good. Bit of pelvic stability. On this next one, hold it over to the right hand on the leg, left arm out to the side. And just hold it there, knee in line with hip, foot in line with knee, don't let that foot drop down. Keep both shoulders on the floor. Gently come back to the centre. We're going to flex the left foot and lengthen the leg up to the ceiling, hopefully feeling a nice stretch down the hamstring. If you need a bend in that leg, feel free to take it. And we really want to be feeling the work down here, down the middle of that hamstring. And just hold. Just bend the right knee, put the right foot on the floor, and then gently put the left ankle on the right leg, opening the knee out, and then bringing right leg into tabletop if you want to get that piriformis stretch. Releasing down, lengthening the right leg up, left leg away, right leg comes into tabletop again, knee stays in line with hip as we go to the left. It's up and over, and then middle, gently take it out to the right, left hip bone doesn't move. Space is a premium when we're recording, so I might have to just shimmy over to my mat on my right side just so I can get a little bit more rotation. So apologies if I come off screen slightly. On this next one, holding it over to the left. Left hand on the leg, arm comes out to the side on the right, shoulders down, a little bit of rotation. I know I've possibly come off screen now, at least some of me. And come back to middle. I'll just centre myself on my mat again. Flex the right foot, lifting leg nice and high. And just hold. Feel that lovely stretch down the back of the hamstring. Big breath in and out. And then just bend the left leg. Right ankle on left thigh, opening the knee out. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe you want to bring the left leg into tabletop to get that lovely stretch into the thigh piriformis, and just hold there. And release, both feet down. Lift both arms up to the ceiling, palms facing each other, fingertips reaching high. Inhale, lift one arm up as high as you can. Exhale, drop it down. And then the other. Inhale, lift, exhale, drop. Just nice shoulder drops here, going through the shoulder girdle a little bit. Really good if you've got any tension in that upper back, if you've been working behind a desk. And if you can, put one hand on top of the other and the back of the hand is going to be on the forehead, and then just see if you can let the elbows drop down to the side. If this is working, see if you can have the hands just above the head, let the arms drop down as far as they can go. And you should feel a little bit of a stretch, make sure shoulders are in shoulder sockets. And release. Gently coming up into your sitting position for me. We're just going to do a few spine stretch, so legs out nice and long, maybe a small bend if you need. And we're going to exhale forward. Inhale, restack. Exhale forward. Inhale, restack. Just a few more of these. Restacking the spine. We're just going to take the hands quite far back. You can have the heels on the floor. We're not lifting up. This is just going to be a little bit of a stretch for the shoulders. Fingertips could face to the side, but preferably not back because that leaves the rotator cuff quite vulnerable. What I want you to do is just slouch into the worst posture in the world. Forget that I've let you do this. And then when you're ready, push the chest up, squeeze shoulder blades together and take a little bit of a look up. And again, just letting the back arch, shoulders do what they want. Maybe take the hands a little bit further back, and then again, lift that chest, straighten those arms, and release. Perfect. Coming onto hands and knees for me. Just a few cat-cow, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to exhale whenever you're ready, rounding that spine, shirt up to ceiling. Head and bottom tuck under. Then inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. And again, exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. One more for me. Exhale, we round. Hold that angry cat. Take a big breath into those ribs. Big breath out. And then inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Come back into your flat back. Just take a look around your right shoulder towards your right bum cheek as if you've sat in something. You want to check what you've sat in. Middle and round to the other side. Come back to that middle for me. We're going to do an elephant stretch, or down dog you may call it, but if you don't like it, just come and take a stand for me. We take one leg back, then the other. Pelvis up towards, or tailbone, sorry, up towards the ceiling. As if you're trying to push your tummy onto your thighs, head in between the arms, shoulders in shoulder sockets. Once you're here, the option there to pedal one leg down, then the other, to get that nice stretch. And then you can possibly straighten both. Holding there, big breaths in and out. And on your next exhale, mindfully walking the hands in towards the feet for 4, 3, 2 and 1. Gently rolling all the way back up. Making sure we're in our parallel position. We'll just do a quick neck stretch here. You're going to push your right hand down without moving your back, and your left hand's going to come over to the right hand side of the head. And you're just going to bring the ear down to the left, creating some lovely space. Release other side. Left hand pushes down, right hand over. Releasing to the middle, just giving those shoulders a bit of a roll back into position. And we're just going to finish with our roll down, chin down, pelvis under, slowly rolling down. Just shaking that head yes and no. Just holding for a second. And then gently tuck tailbone under, slowly roll up, one bone at a time. Rolling shoulders back into position one last time for me. And you are done. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.